All right. Hello, everybody. Whoever comes in, I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. I'm running late. If not, I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna get off of here. What else do I need? Then I got homework. I gotta clean. I gotta get this desk ready. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Yo, I am butt tired. I walked out this house this morning to meet Joe and another friend of ours, Victoria, for breakfast. I got back here and brought. I stopped from there afterwards at Whole Foods. Whole Foods got these tomatoes I like. The little like different color ones called Wonder something. And I went there and got them. They was on sale. Well, as sale pricey as they can be. Let me put the chat. They was on sale. And I got 2 of them. Because if you're a Prime member, you download the Whole Foods app and then you get an extra discount off stuff at Whole Foods. It might not be huge, but at Whole Foods, every little bit count. I don't shop there a lot. I have to really want something at Whole Foods because Whole Foods high as hell. But those tomatoes I couldn't get anywhere else. Hey, Flatbed, what's up? Where you at in the country? So, I'm going to talk in a minute. I just got in here. Ooh, Lord. Y'all forgive me. Let me see, because it seemed like a little weird on my camera lens. Y'all forgive me, I'm going to use a t-shirt. Let's see if that's better. I guess it just is what it is. Oh, Lord, I'm tired. Where you at in the country? And is it cold? It's okay, you didn't have to say, all you do is say Ohio. I already know it's cold. I'm dealing with something new in insurance. I'll go ahead and share it. I was going to wait till next weekend, but I'm going to share it. So I'm switching companies. And the new company, I'm going to be work from home. And I'm going into auto insurance opposed to health insurance. I have to give my notice, but I'll be mailing that out Wednesday or Thursday. Just making sure I got all my ducks in a row. I'll talk more about everything next weekend because all the official notice will go out then. I'm already at the new place, so I'm not even worried about that. But the old place, I just need to let them know. Okay. So yeah, more money. Yeah, more money. Yeah, work from home 75% of the time, 1 week in office a month. Even in the training, I've been training at work from home for most of it, except for we had to do licensing. So I got licensed in insurance. So I'm licensed in insurance. And they're registering my licensure. I do the fingerprints, all that. So all that's happening. I will be trying to think what I wanted to tell you. I'll be work from home 3 weeks of the month and then 1 week in office. With the exception of the training is 12 weeks long. So we've been really training from home most of the time. Matter of fact, once I get off of here, I gotta finish some homework. Then I'm gonna set my desk up. I gotta get laundry ready. I'm not doing it today. I'm probably doing it tomorrow or next sometime because I'm 7:30 to 4 right now during the training. So at 4 o'clock, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll stop at the laundromat because they give you a discount and just do the clothes when it ain't a whole bunch of people. You don't need a lot when you work from home. You just got to wear a decent top, and I usually wear shorts and sit over here at the desk. But I'm going to get my desk set up because we finally are starting to do the work instead of the training. So the test, I had to get a 70. I got a 90. And I passed that, praise Jesus, because it was some work. Hold on. I'm old, baby. Life with Tanab. Life with Tanab. Welcome, Tanab. Hey, Delphi, what's up, baby? Welcome to the channel, Life with Tanab. Where you at in the country? Delphi, I don't know if I ask you where you at. Where you at, Delphi? I know you done been on the channel a couple times. And welcome. Both of y'all welcome, but Delphi done been in here a couple times, so welcome to the fam. Oh, it's Tina B. Oh, okay, Life with... All right, Miss Tina B. Welcome to the channel, Miss Tina B. I like that. She's like, it's Tina B. There used to be a hip, kind of a R&B hip Tyra B. I don't know if you remember. I kind of like her little song. It's kind of a hip-hoppy song. Is it Tyra B? Something like that. Yeah, hip hoppy song. Okay, Tina B, I like that. Welcome to the channel. So I always preface this. I'll talk a little bit about trucking because I do have some people who are looking at the old trucking videos and you're coming in. I'm not a trucker anymore. I don't drive trucks, but I am going to talk about something real quick to help one of the drivers because she did ask, or she's training to be a driver. Mississippi, right? MS, Mississippi. I've been to Mississippi. I think you mean Mississippi, MS, because Maine is MA. What's Mass? No, Mass is, hold on, I'm getting, so you got Massachusetts, you got Mississippi, which is MS. What's Maine? Is Minnesota's MN. I think yeah, Mississippi, okay. Oh, well, welcome to the live, because I'm a fool. Well, let me say, I'm stupid sometimes. Sometimes I can be a little stupid, so get ready. Depends on what's going on for the day, and it's been a very unique week. And I still got massive boxes over here I got to deal with. That's why I want to do this early. I just started a new class. I was very overwhelmed, so I got to get the house in order because I'm going to be here all the time. And right now I got bins and boxes still in places. So my goal is to start chipping away at the drama, and then I'll show y'all what it's going to look like once we done. Hey, United, what's up, baby? How you doing? And I'm actually going to get in here. You might be able to talk. United owns his own trucking company, and we've actually talked a long time ago on the phone. But for those of you who might be in here because y'all saw some of my old trucking videos, and what I am going to do is go back and do a playlist because it is helping some people, especially some female truckers. So I will give some quick advice, and then we'll talk about something else. And I'll read that in a minute, y'all. I have to do this with the phone because I didn't set the computer up. Eventually, we're going to do that. We're gonna do that. I got my MacBook. We'll talk about that later. I got the MacBook Air M1 on sale. A huge sale. I like $300 some off of the regular price. Sale. We'll talk about that in a minute. I got to play with it, though, because I'll be doing a whole bunch of new stuff. One for my Christian group, but also for here. And then I want to set my car up with a way to film while I'm driving, because I'm finding that some of y'all watch the videos because y'all like when I'm out and about. I got people who I get more viewership going through the car wash, driving around, which I understand because I like to watch road videos too. And then I plan on doing some driving here in the valley. And going up into the mountains. Arizona's a beautiful state. It's actually a gorgeous state. We're talking about that at the new job. So for the people coming in as truckers, there was a question that came. I'm going to go ahead and address that right now, and then I'll get into the topics I have. One of the young ladies who's brand new going into trucking, she's in trucking school right now. She asked a question based on my prior video, like, what do you do now? And what do you do post-trucking, meaning that you stop trucking? So one of the guys I used to watch, oh man, I can't remember his name. I forgot his name. He was a trucker, and I saw him, he hadn't done a video in a long time, and I saw him a couple weeks ago. And he did a video, his hair, he got gray hair in his beard. Now, he's younger than me. He's got to be in his 40s. And he's like, yeah, he said, I had to get my stuff out the truck. He said, I'm getting out the bed. I can't stand up immediately. My knees hurt. My back hurt. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting old. So he now is going into becoming a school bus driver. You could do local work, but understand local work oftentimes will have you unloading trucks. It's not always the case. If you get local work where you don't have to unload the truck, unfortunately, I don't know what the money's like. Now, I think Flatbed said something last week. It might have been in a comment that you're looking at possibly somewhere down the line doing local because the local's paying now. I suggest going local because my concern is what's going to happen when the automated trucks come in and what kind of impact that's going to have, because automated truck is not, I don't see it being in town. I see the automated truck being over the road. Fuel, I got one of my trucking kids, Nikki, she's got her hazmat, and that was what she wants to do, but she's having a hard time breaking into it. Granted, she had, some legal issues with felonies. So I'm not sure if that plays a role, but it's been long enough where she's been in trucking, but she may just have to keep, plucking at it. But it's gonna come. It's gonna come. How long it's gonna be? It's like right now we got the automated here in Arizona. Lyft it's got we call it Waymo. Waymo rolling. I be looking like I want to do a Waymo. And I remember when they were testing it, they tested it. They met up over here at the parking lot of the Safeway by my house, and all the drivers that would sit in the passenger seat and or in the behind the seat while the car drove itself. And now it's driving itself. Like Waymo, he all over the town. He doing good. Now I've heard that Cali, I think it's California, one of them states, they had some problems with a different company one. I gotta change these out, y'all. With a different company one. They had a problem with it. I got something going on there. Hold on. Oh, okay. They also said he said something about truck brokerage. Yep, you could do that too. So there's other aspects of transportation you could do. Um, I got out because physically, and I have to actually right now. I need to go do my DOT physical, which I probably want to do that here sometime this month. I'm gonna have to call the little doctor I use and go in there and see it on the weekend and set an appointment. Um, but I have to do my DOT physical. Then I send it in. I pay a $30 fee. So right now my commercial side is in suspense. My regular driving privileges are active. So they can split it up in the system. If I ever get pulled over, the cop should see the two sides of my drivers, my regular driver's side and my commercial side. My commercial, if I was in a truck, I can't drive it because I'm in suspension because I haven't done my DOT physical. Not that I can't pass it. I'm just haven't done it because it's money and I ain't felt like going in there dealing with it and going in there with all them people. But I need to set that up. Back to my conversation. So when you actually do get to a point where, hey, I can't do this anymore, there are things you could do like a local bus driver, maybe get on with the other transportation, work in the office, do what he said, the brokerage part. You could do stuff like that. I got one of the guys I know, he started buying some trucks and now he drives occasionally, but he pretty much runs his own little trucking gig here in Arizona. And he drove for years. Teaching, yes. You could also teach at the schools or trucking schools in all the cities and states. So you can teach there. As a matter of fact, when I went for the bus license, the bus endorsement, I had to go to a trucking school to test out. The guy who did my test was certified from the state of Arizona, but he also was a teacher there at the trucking school we did the testing at. So all that, you have those things in your back pocket. You could also become local. You could work for some of the OTR companies in local positions. Like when I was in trucking school, one of the teachers, she was an instructor, and on the weekends she drove for night and she would just drive loads from Arizona to California and back. And so she'd be in school on Monday. That gave her a couple $100 in her pocket extra. So there are things you can do. So post, there you go. It doesn't stop you. And then also you can bridge in other stuff. There's other, I had a corporate background before I left. I had a healthcare background before I went into trucking. So there's other stuff you can do. Okay. No, I had the healthcare background after trucking because I left for a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, but I had a corporate background way before then. So there and other and there's companies that will train you because they're desperate for people right now. The company I'm at right now, I'm working in auto insurance, huge insurance company, huge, and they're hiring. My class was over 200 people. And they got a whole nother 200 people training right now, at least here in Arizona. I don't know what they got over outside Arizona. Well, before there was a shortage in the trucking industry, and then during COVID, the need was so great. I think and they were offering so much money that people were jumping into the industry that way. But now I do think there might be an overage because I know that a couple companies have laid off in the office. Yeah, your OTR is what really kind of prepares you to me for everything in trucking. It really does. But I have zero desire to go back into transportation. Point blank. Period. Me and transportation are done. I would only do transportation on any level if I absolutely had to. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm very between working in the office for the one trucking company that was racist as hell, and physically, I just don't want to drive trucks. If I do, I love driving. I want to be in my a trailer of my own, like, travel trailer where you sleep in there, or a van, and be traveling around and enjoying the places. I don't want to just do it for a job. I don't have the energy anymore. Those days are done. DONE. All right, let me go back, see if I answer any comments, and then I'm gonna get into a couple other things here. Okay. All right, Miss Tina B is in the house. Delphi, United, Flatbed. Also, let me put this on here. Chicago BBW, if you come in. So I'm going to address something she asked me about. Chicago BBW, if you watch this, you asked about those apartments and that address you were talking about. So where that is at is exactly where I was thinking. There used to be some projects down in Phoenix off of like 16th Street and Roosevelt. So between 16th Street and Roosevelt heading east, it can get a little hoodie. But when I was working in the office, I came that street home and I saw the new apartments you're talking about, and there's several. The projects have been torn down. They got rid of them. I was like, what happened to the projects? They tore them down. They gone. Now there's still some kind of hoodie apartments over there, but as I told you, that area is starting to be what they call up and coming because of the universities now in Central Phoenix. So they're trying to acquire that property, and as soon as they acquire it, they're redoing it. In this case, they tore the projects down. They built up these new, I call them prisons, but the new fancy, high-rise type apartments. They built, those are there now. So if you are looking, the area, they're trying to bring it up. Is it all that bad? Not. It is. What I saw, I was impressed. So you can see that they're doing some changes. Again, you from Chicago, that should not be anything because I lived there back in my 20s. It shouldn't be anything. And the apartments you're in, I think they're gated. From the ones I saw, they were gated. The grounds look to be very well maintained. Now there is a heavy homeless group in that area, but I'll get to that because they're everywhere right now, and I'm gonna get to that today. And they're over there. That's one of the areas that when we were learning to drive the bus, we would stop and they would pick up the high school students, and we would take them to the high school, and they called it the schooler or something like that. I forgot the nickname the bus company gave those routes during school times to get all the kids to Camelback High School. But we would pick up the kids to go to school. Yeah. So if you decide to come down, it's actually not too bad of an area. You've got it's heavier Latino influence over there, especially for you got a Latino grocery store, although you also have a Middle Eastern, I think it might be Muslim, owned store called Baez Market, which I love. Excellent baklava bar. They have a Latino store there called Rancho Market, and you got some hood stuff. There's a really good a lot of little Mexican restaurants over there, pockets of it. But yes, right, it's not too far from where the colleges are now for Phoenix. There's a park there that's been there for years. There used to be a hospital over there. I think they closed that. That was the hospital where Monty got sick when he was here. It's St. Luke, something, Phoenix, St. Luke, I think it was. They opened it up temporarily during COVID. But I think it's closed back down again. And then they tore all the projects down because I used to have a cousin who lived in the projects. And I was like, when they tear the projects down? I didn't know they tore the projects down. Because I hadn't been that route all the way in a while. And when I was driving home from the new job, because we had to work in office last week, I would come that route because it's a back end street. And I was like, when did all this happen? So just to let you know, when I drove there this past week and I saw it, I was like, let me let her know. So if there's something you're looking at, just to let you know what that is like. Okay, no trucking shortage. I want to go to OTR. We did that. I do think a lot of people who came to trucking during COVID quit when the money wasn't there. Which insurance company is hiring like that? Truck Rep, where you at in the country? Are you here in Arizona? Hey, girl, I ain't seen you forever. Where you at in the country? Where you at in the country? Let me know what. Are you here in Phoenix or are you somewhere else? Let me know. And then As far as a company, I will never say who I work for in Florida. They do have Florida. What part of Florida? Because I dealt with some people for licensure for Florida, and they handle licensure. I'm not sure exactly what positions in Florida, but I know they do have people in Florida. I thought you were hearing that. Oh, you were just here when I met you in the bathroom at Swift. Okay. Do me a favor. Behind the scenes, Orlando. Okay. Behind the scenes, Truckerette, shoot me an email, truckerdoll@gmail.com. Let me know it's you. And then I'll tell you what company to go apply for. Behind the scenes. I know her because we met in the bathroom at Swift back in the day. We were both driving. And it's good to see you, baby. All right. I forgot what I titled this, y'all. Oh, Beggars. I think Beggars might have been homeless or something else. I forgot. Anyway, and 40 acres. Okay. Yeah, y'all just shoot me emails, truckerdoll@gmail.com. Yeah, Swift Phoenix and I remember. Girl, bye. I'm old. I ain't that old. I do remember that. We met in the bathroom. And I can't remember if I was doing laundry and I was in the bathroom. I think I was getting my bag ready for a shower too. I can't remember. But it was a whole bunch going on. I might have come out the shower. I just know I ran into you in the bathroom, and I remember we talked for a little bit. I think I was doing laundry too. Actually, I need to stop at that Swift yard for that store, because the Swift store was your friend. Because you get some discounts, y'all. Them kids be rolling them trucks, and all that merchandise, they sell it to the employees. Well, now I think you can just walk in off the street. You so silly. You silly girl, ain't no celebrity. All right, look, I'm just a regular sister with issues and who ain't got no sense. I ran into another girl back. She's a baby. She had just gotten into trucking, and she got on with one of the meat companies. I think JBS Swift Beef or whatever. JB, whatever. You don't hear in Phoenix, the beef place. She got on with them. Had a nice Peterbilt. They gave her a nice truck, brand new. PJ, what's up, baby? How you doing? What's the weather like? All right, so I'm going to get into it. Y'all know I'm going to get into my stories. Story time. All right. So those who didn't catch it, I did kind of announce. I haven't given notice yet, but I'll be giving notice this week to my old company. I was in healthcare before for a company that contracts to the federal government, okay? So I was in healthcare. I'm now moving into auto insurance. So I got a job, $5 more an hour than what I was making. Praise Jesus. Work from home. They have a pension. My other company did not have a pension. They got pension 401k, started day one for us. Very, very, very good company from what I can tell. I don't know that this is the honeymoon stage, but I'm very impressed. There's a diverse culture. A lot of African-American women in positions. My two trainers are Black out of Dallas. They're doing it through Zoom. Most of the people have been with the company anywhere from 9 to 20 plus years. Very, very impressed. And the company, people have moved to different states and grown with the company. So it's been very impressed. Oh, it's chilly. Well, we've been in the 50s here in Arizona. Today, when I left out for breakfast, it was about 56 degrees. When I got home, it's about 64, 66. At least that's what the car was showing. And I met Joe and a friend of ours, Victoria, for breakfast. There's a little diner up the street I introduced him to, and they wanted to do breakfast. So they hit me up yesterday and say, hey, want to do breakfast? And I was there yesterday. I was like, yeah, I can go do breakfast with them again. I love this little diner. And anyway, so we met up there. And then after I left there, I went to Whole Foods. And then I came home for a minute because I had to go to the bathroom. Dropped off what groceries I did have. And they have a sriracha I like called the Ox brand. And I was looking for it because it was really good at this restaurant, and I had never heard of it. So I don't know if y'all know that Hugh Fung, whatever, the original sriracha, they're having problems making that because he changed up some stuff, and now I don't think he can get the peppers he needs. But other companies are now making the sriracha, but he done made a fortune, so he don't have to make any more. Other people can make some. But there's other brands, and the flavors are different. So Yellowbird is one I do like. And they do various ones. And this one is called Ox brand. And I had it up there and I love the flavor of it. So I was sitting up there and Amazon had nerve to say $18. $18. And while I was talking to Victoria, Victoria said, let me look. And so she found it at one of our local grocery stores here, and I got a small bottle for $5. I'm going to go back and get a big bottle because I really enjoyed their sriracha. Neither here nor there. Let's come back to reality. So, and if you come in, like, thumbs up, share it out. So what I have noticed, ice, water, what I've noticed, and I'm Christian. I love Lord. I really do. And I know as Christians, we should bless and help other people if we can. I've almost been on the homeless doorstep. I don't know, some people have. Remember Danielle, when she's alive, she said she slept out of her van for a minute, and especially in trucking, because a lot of people coming in trucking are coming on their last. They at that end point, it's a career they can get that doesn't require, Bill said, if you can sit in the seat and go forward and back, you got a job, okay? So that's usually most transportation, especially with trucking. Now, that was not my situation. I decided I was burnt out on corporate America when I got into it in 2009. I had gotten laid off from a company I was working with, and I just didn't want to be back in an office. So I decided, and I wanted to travel. So I was in my 40s, and some people call middle-aged crazies. I wanted to do something different. A lot of us hit that when we hit our 40s, like, I want to do something different. And you hit that point at 40 is that midpoint where you start saying, maybe you've been doing the status quo, and you want to try something different. You didn't think to try because you were just, doing whatever you were supposed to do. And you want to get off the treadmill of life and try something different. So that's when 40s is when men go cheat and go mess with other women. Women might cheat and do the same thing. For people get divorced. Folks change careers. Folks go and do stuff they didn't do. Maybe they did drugs and other stuff they wanted to try when they was kids that they didn't do. I've heard it all. Mine was going into trucking and traveling. I was too fat to be a flight attendant, but I wanted to travel. The only other travel I would love to do is I would like to go overseas. I won't do that now with everything going on. And like I said, I'm a big proponent for the rapture, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm not shocked, okay? So right now there's too much going on war-wise where I would be comfortable traveling anywhere overseas. But I would love to go to Japan. I would like going to Italy. I would love to go to United Kingdom. I've never done a cruise. That's something I would like to do. But based on, like I said, a lot that's going on right now, I'm going to stick my butt here in America, okay? But in interacting with people and doing the things that I do and seeing folks and also being almost butt out, my heart goes out to some things, but I'm not a big proponent for others. So today, I'll give you an example. Today, we're heading out of a restaurant. Now, I'll be honest, Joe gave me his leftovers. So he ordered, they have potatoes. Their potatoes are these country potatoes, and they season them. They're just phenomenal. Matter of fact, when the first time I ate it, is when I sat back because they were so good. Today, Joe did it when he tried them the first time. So this second time there. And today, Victoria did it, and I said exactly. Their potatoes are like crack. The country potato, they season the hell out of them. They're really, really good. So they ate what they could of it, and then they're full. Victoria has had the surgery, the weight loss surgery, even though she's gained weight back. But she can only eat so much in a sitting. So she gave me the rest of her potatoes. Joe he's diabetic, and he's trying to watch his sugar, so he can only eat so much. And then he said, I'm going to give you the rest of my potatoes. He said, I just wanted some. So they gave me their little potatoes that were left over. And then I had my leftover meal, which was a sausage, bacon, a biscuit and a half, because I only ate a half a biscuit. So I had 3 things going on in there, plus the owner's wife they got to know me because I did a review on them through Yelp. So I do Yelp reviews, and if you're in your area, you got Yelp, you'll see people that say elite something, and usually the year. So Yelp reached out to me, and they said, hey, we like the reviews you do. Would you become one of our elite people? And by accepting that, you get special invitations. So I have not gone to any of the special invitations yet, but a badge when I do a review is on there that says I'm an elite 23er. And next year it'll change to elite 24. And what that means is that I go and I do reviews. Not that I've even asked, just if I go somewhere, I review it and it has a little heavier weight. But on top of that, we get invited to special events. It could be openings of restaurants or other events. It could be just gatherings where we meet together, get together, and you meet other, reviewers. So you meet other Yelp reviewers and review anything, food, businesses, whatever. Mainly, Yelp is food, but there's other things. I found a moving company that I use to move my stuff out of storage through Yelp. When I was helping Grumpy and he didn't pay attention, I found the moving companies I recommended to him through Yelp. Chicago BBW, when you get a chance, go back and rewind this later. I left you some information about those apartments you were looking here in Phoenix in the video in the beginning. So you'll have to rewind back a little bit. I can't tell you where it is, but how you doing, baby, and how's that weather? But I gave you some information on it. I did drive by the area you're talking about. As a matter of fact, I was just there last week. Drove by it several times. They are revamping the area, but it's still hoodie a little bit. But the projects, they tore those down that were near there. So where that's at, I'm very familiar with it because I used to live right down the street in my 20s. And when I was working for the bus companies, we used to, school trippers, that's what they used to call them, school trippers. We used to pick the students up over there. So I do know exactly, and there are brand new apartment complexes they just built up over there. So if it's what I think you're talking about, it's one of those. And they tore the projects down because they used to have a cousin that lived in the projects. I don't know what you just wrote, Truckerette, because it's funky on the screen. Sometimes lately with whatever YouTube has done, it's funky. I'm gonna try to go back and read it. I don't know what it said. It says welcome. Oh, so something about welcome. I don't know. It's doing weirds. Child. Okay. Anyway, I think she said welcome. What? Not me. Hey, Tiffany, what's up, baby? It might not be you, Flatbed. It might be the system. It says something about timed out. Amazon. YouTube been doing some weirdness. I'm just saying. They've been doing some weirdness. What's up, Tiffany? How's the weather? All right, so getting back to it, and Tiffany, you can go back because I kind of gave some of the announcement of the new job and all that. You can go back and look at that. But I'm going to get to this story. So this morning, I meet Joe and I meet Victoria for breakfast. And we go to this little diner. As I'm walking out, I'm just talking. I'm talking to them. And as we're walking, I see an old school lawnmower, okay? Hey, Tanya, what's up, baby? How's the weather? I see an old school lawnmower, and it's like the push mowers. I don't know if y'all ever know what those is, but my grandmother, Monty's mom's husband, we never called him grandfather. Monty never called him dad. He was special. Anyway, he used to push one of the push mowers that it just turns, it just pushes and it has some blades, and the blades chop the grass as it's rolling. Old school. Not mechanical, not electrical, just a push mower. And it would cut the grass. Well, there was one laying out in the gravel near the restaurant. Is it cold or what's cool? Give me a temperature. It was laying out in the gravel. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Yeah, you'll go see. I'm at a auto insurance company now, and I'm 75% work from home. I still have to give the notice to the other place, which I'll be doing later this week. But I'm work from home 3 weeks of every month and then 1 week in office. We're in training still, so I will complete my training in January and then be doing my regular shift, which will be like 11:30 to 8, Monday through Friday. And then when the time changes, 10:30 to 7. Anyway, back to it. So, and I got my licensure. So I got insurance licensure too. So I'm licensed there. Actually, that's processing right now. So I passed the test for the licensure and I'm waiting for that to get done. Because then reciprocity, I think is what they call it. So then they'll take my licensing, which is going to be out of Florida. They only do licensing out of Florida and Texas for the test. And then they basically register you for all the other states. And that's what's going to happen. With the exception of 1 or 2 where they said there was something funky with those states. I don't know all the details. Back to it. So I leave out and I'm talking. Ooh, that is chilly. Thank you, Miss Tanya. Thank you. I'll talk more about why that happened, but the company I was at, one of the acting managers did me a favor. Even though he don't know that's what he did. But he did because it's $5 more an hour. The company that I'm at now has a pension. and a 401k. So they have both. And I'm got to rebuild my retirement until the Lord either raptures us or I hit the casket. I need retirement. So this has been a blessing. And I'm 55, so I got about possibly, if things go for 10 years, I don't know if we're going to have that happen with everything going on right now, prophetically especially. Y'all keep your eye on Jerusalem, because that is the center point of the things to come. So back to it. So as we're walking out of, thank you, Miss Tanya. As we walking out of the restaurant, I mentioned to Joe and Victoria, I said, "Oh, I hadn't seen an old Pushmore." And so I hear a voice behind me say, "Where do you know him from?" And I'm talking, and I'm thinking it's one of the people from the restaurant, one of the employees walking behind me because of where this is sitting. And I was like, "Oh," I said, my grandmother's husband had one." I'm just talking. So then as I'm walking, because I walk with a cane now, and I see from my peripheral, I can tell this guy's not he's not an employee. He looks like one of the homeless folks. Now, as I said, for those of you coming in, when we left out, we had leftovers. Joe and Victoria gave me all their stuff, which was some potatoes. I had biscuits and sausage, gravy. The lady sold some toffee. And Victoria's a huge sweet person. I'm not, but occasionally I like stuff. If I do like sweets on occasion, don't get it twisted. I do like sweets, but I'm more of a my big one is caramel. So it did have that caramel toffee thing on top, which I like, and I love almonds. So they had the sliced almonds, very good actually, with the hint of chocolate underneath. Very well done, homemade. And so the lady had them for sale. $15. So we all chipped in $5 each, and we just split it up. So I had that in the bag. So I had my little bag, and my bag was packed because I got Joe's leftovers, I got my leftovers, and Victoria gave me hers. So there was, quite a bit. I had breakfast for 3 or 4 days, okay, off that. So the guy says, "Oh, first he says, 'Can you help?'" Well, first he starts talking about the lawnmower, like it's a casual, like with buddies. And then when I cocked inside, and I don't care if you're homeless, I'll still speak. I'm not going to be mean. But unless you're cray or I see you're on drugs. He's tall, white boy, thin, younger. So when I say younger, I'm going to estimate 30s, maybe early 30s, late 20s. So as I'm walking to the car, he goes, "Well, I was wondering if you could help me out." I said, "Man, I ain't got no money to give you, okay? Well, I want some food." Now, at this point, I got a bag of food, but I'm sorry, I wasn't giving it to him. And it's not that I'm not saved. Here's what's going on. And it bothered me. And I'm going to go back to something from a great aunt by marriage. So as I'm walking, first of all, I don't know what you got. And when you start handing folks stuff, you don't know what they're going to pull out on you. You don't know what they're going to do. Okay. I donate to it's a mission group here called Phoenix Rescue Mission. What they do is some phenomenal Christian work. They help people coming out of prison transition. They help people who want to get off drugs transition. They help women. They just some phenomenal work. So I do major donations to them, at least major from my budget to them. And to me, I have taken on the attitude that's their specialty, not mine. So I don't know. When you come in and ask me for $1, $5, and I love the Lord, I don't know whether you playing me or whether you really need it. But I give to an organization, I let that be their thing. That's not my gifting. To discern whether you up and up, whether you on drugs, what it is. But here's my big issue. Let me go back. Growing up, we had a lady, she's really an aunt by marriage, but we always called her Miss Pearly. She was a friend of the family for a long time, but her brother married my mother's father's sister, so my grandfather's sister. And so her brother was my uncle, so I just always consider her an aunt by marriage, even though we never called her aunt. We called her Miss Pearly. Miss Pearly, when I was growing up, she spoke a lot of wisdom in my life, and I listened to older people a lot. So I was around my grandmother, and I like older people. There's some wisdom and things you can gather from older people. Miss Pearly was wise. So Miss Pearly, she said, Your light in life as a woman is going to be hard. And a black woman is even harder. She said, a man can get, you without a car is a struggle. But a man should be able to get his boys and go get a piece of car. And him and his boys can go out there and tinker and keep that running. A man should be able to have a job, even if he's digging a ditch. It makes no sense for a woman to be taking care of a man. And a man should be able to dig a ditch and make a living and do something. He's built for it. That's what he was designed for, is work. And that set with me. The influx of homeless here in Arizona has increased tremendously. It's one of the reasons I was concerned about being at the bus company. Girl, the Lord had to show me that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So when I am, Flatbed hit on something, when I'm using the word man, I am using that loosely as a grown adult male over the age of 18. I'm just saying. So what Flatbed is saying, that's a whole, we're going to talk on that. Maybe I'll do that as a subject next Sunday or Saturday. So as I'm walking out, this white man going to ask me, and then he's going to get an attitude. And he's like, and I guess Joe said he heard him say something about he wanted the food that was in my bag. I didn't hear that. I do know he was asking for food, which was an indication he wanted me to give him what was in the bag or to go buy him some food, of which I'm not doing either. Okay. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just not. Again, I don't know you. And I'm going to tell you, let me back up this train up a little bit. When I was at the light road for that brief time, there was a dude in the class. The dude was hungry. So I had a half a sandwich. I said, here you go. Not thinking anything of it. But then when he took a break, got a whole pack of cigarettes. Now, I don't know. Monty has cigarettes too. And cigarettes are high as hell. If you don't know, they're high as hell. And I know I'm fat. I need to understand. Is food more important or the cigarette? But addictions, and food can be an addiction. Addictions to drugs and to other stuff other than sustenance, I have an issue with. Because you need sustenance. That other stuff can go to the side. Okay? But I understand that addiction is psychological, and it can, after you become addicted, can become a physical draw. But there's a point where prayerfully something should click in and say, the food is more important than the drug. I'm just saying. But I also believe in spiritual strongholds. So the spiritual stronghold on the drug addiction is another issue. And I don't know if you have mental health issues, and God bless them. But I'm going to leave that to agencies. I'd rather put my money there, and you work with those agencies to feed you and help you. And there's quite a few here in Arizona. There's shelters, there's food banks, there's missions like what these people do that can help you. The why is still a place, but you got to want it too, okay? So he started kind of following, and I said, I ain't got nothing for you, okay? Then he yells, I'm hungry. So let's back up the train. Miss Pearlie said a man could dig a ditch and earn money. And that's still the way I feel. Yeah, I even made lunch for dude. Even though I saw the cigarettes, I went ahead and made lunch up until we both were, let go from the light rail. But I sat back and I kind of absorbed that a little bit. And, under trucking, I did the same thing. When I was a student in my trucking and I was being trained, my trainer had financial issues. And I was getting unemployment. And so since I was in training, I would pay sometimes for us both to eat because he didn't have money. It was tight, and even though he was training me. So I get hard times, but I would even buy extra food, like that felon dude who was on my truck who was a butthole. He was eating my food on the truck. I don't know what his money was funny. And he was talking to me crazy. But, feeding people is not normally something, but there's a point. What I've been getting is there's a point when you have to stop and use wisdom. I know, Chuckerette, but I'm follow my bouncing ball. Here in Arizona, we have had and I don't know California, I don't know where you're at. I know California's bad, but here we've had a major influx of the homeless. A lot of it, I do believe, is panning out from two things: drug usage and mental health. Those two right off the bat, okay? This is a tall white boy, okay? I'm a black woman, barely making it, almost been out there myself. Lived off the truck, trying to follow things. I get it to that degree. But the influx of what we got going on right now, I am not someone who is set to determine how you ended up in your predicament. However, there are ministries and organizations that have people who can do that. That's not me. And if I did what I sense, okay, let me just hand this. I myself would be out, okay? What's that old saying? Teach a man to fish, he'll eat forever long. Give a man a fish, he'll only eat for that time period. And then he'll also expect it. This dude's younger than me. Look like in better shape, as reasonable as that can be. And you're male, grown. Right now, we got a plethora of companies asking for people. And I know it might not be your cup of tea. McDonald's, the grocery stores, they doing open walk-ins. The company I'm leaving right now, they did an open house, even on the street. They even hand out flyers at the homeless shelters and the shelters with people getting out of prison in order to get people to come work for the company. I watched a show the other day. It was a Christian guy. He said, we got able-bodied males who do not want to work. We got tons of jobs, from military to non-military, and they don't want to work. What's your... Okay, you mean in general, because it's a white boy, but you actually could be right, women in general. And a lot of that comes from, the mommy thing too. I think men in general, but black, yeah, I get that. But I decided that. So after I left there, I called Joe, and Joe said, Shannon, he said, half the time I think some of that's a scam. He said, and I go back to something you told me. Because he was feeling that way. He said, sometimes I feel bad. He says, but let me tell y'all a story. When I was working for the night transportation in the office with the racist company, right? I'm working for them. With the racial stuff going on. I used to catch the bus. So I had to come out after I got off work. I catch the first bus. I go out there, walk to the bus. The bus stop was in front of a QT, a Quick Trip, which is like a convenience mart. I don't know if y'all had those in your part of the country. I would go in, and sometimes I knew I wasn't going to feel like cooking when I got home. So I would buy a hot dog, and I put one in my bag. You get them, 2 for whatever. So there was a homeless lady that would sometimes be on the bench. Yep, that's an old biblical saying. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's correct. So there was a homeless lady who was on the bench, and I had bought 2 hot dogs. So I said, well, let me give her one. So I said, I got there, and she's sleeping on the bench, and I said, here, you want a hot dog? Wait for it. She said, I'm a vegetarian. It taught me some lessons, okay? And there were mental issues, because my friend Regina, who was here, she stopped and talked to her one time and found out, some stuff. And Regina was just like, she's like, yeah, there's some mental issues, but I know, flatbed. She says, I'm like, my ninja, you sleeping on a park bench. I'm trying to give you some food and you a vegetarian? It's a hot dog. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, oh, okay. That was a lesson for me. And I was like, I won't be doing extra. It was a very vital lesson. But my problem with this is that you're a grown male. Whether you're a man or not, I don't know if you got drug issues. I don't know how you ended up in your predicament. And I'm sorry for you. I'm really sorry for our veterans, because that is a huge other area. And a lot of that has to do PTSD and some other things. I can't with you. Um, so I'm sitting up here. I'm like, you're a grown man. You're a white man. And no offense to those who may be Anglo who watch my channel, but I'm gonna say this: Anglo men, white men, they have an advantage over all of us. Whether you're a white woman, whether you're a black woman, or a woman in general of any ethnicity, or you're a minority of any ethnicity, white men usually have an upper hand in the job. This is not new. That's just facts. Okay. Everybody else is an obstacle, but if you're a female, it's a bigger obstacle. And if you're a female of ethnicity or color, it's a bigger obstacle, meaning that it's harder for me than it is for you. So the question is, why are you not working? That's the question. Able-bodied, walk around. You can ask me for food, then you can ask for a job. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, how can I put it, negate that stuff happens to any of us. And like I said, I've been on the brink of homelessness. I lost a job, and if it wasn't for some friends who moved, I don't know how I was paid for the place that I'm in right now. I lived off the truck. Now, that was by choice, but in essence, if that trucking job ended, I had to have somewhere to go. So I crashed at Grumpy's. Plus, it helped him, because he had health challenges. So I would crash there or crash with Vivian until I switched to a company. Or if I decided to change jobs, because it's how trucking works. However, I am not obligated to feed you. And I normally would. I had a friend of mine. He would get into some issues with his family, come stay with me, but he was my friend. I don't know this dude from a can of paint. Okay? And I'm a black woman, and I'm going to go back to Miss Pearlie. A man can dig a ditch and make money. It makes absolutely no sense in the market we're in right now. There are jobs. I ain't telling you you're going to make, $25 an hour. I'm not telling you that. But if you have to get a room and you want to have a job, you can flip a burger, you can sweep a floor, you can do janitor work. The company I'm leaving, the janitor and I would talk every night. He was a nice guy, and that was his job. He did it for I don't know how many years. And he didn't make probably a lot of money, but it paid the bills, it fed him, he had somewhere to sleep and to eat. He had a job and was a nice white boy. This dude, you like 30, 20, late 20s, early 30s. I'm 55 years old with a cane hobbling to my dang car. And you coming up then talking to me crazy because I didn't give you no food. I leave there. It was that much since today. I pull into the parking lot of Whole Foods. So if you don't know, Whole Foods is high as hell. I'll be honest. I don't normally shop there. I have to want something only Whole Food carry. And they carry these little tomatoes that I like. So I went, it's like this little, they're called Wonder something tomatoes. And they had them on their sale. I'm going to say their sale. And so I bought 2 things of them. I do chop them up in a salad. But I also I can just sit and eat them. So as I pull up into the parking lot, I'm like, well, dang, because I just left this drama after the restaurant. Lady walks up to my car and opens the sign. And the sign, I don't know what it said, but it was obviously begging. And there's a little bitty girl with her. I'm like, Lord, what's going on? This is weird. She hitting up every car in the parking lot. Now, if you don't know Whole Foods, the people in that Whole Foods lot, there's some nice rides, especially where this Whole Foods is located. It's the financial district here in Arizona, okay? So, because I used to work in the financial district area. And there's some nice rides. There's the area up there, multimillionaires in that area of the Biltmore area. So, I'm up there, I'm like, and they're like shaking their head, and one dude looking down to the side. He didn't want to be bothered. You know what, Flatbed? That's a plan. You speaking something. I ain't think about that. That's a plan. Next time I'll show you because I really like them. And I actually got to get back here because I'm going to change it up in the back. I haven't done it yet because I'm working on it in the inside right now. But I'm going to change some things up in the back. I'll take y'all out there when I get ready to do that because I'm going to order some beds. I'm going to do raised beds. I'm still going to have the bags, but I got an idea because I'm going to incorporate the bags in the beds. Because again, my space back there, I think I took y'all out there a while. It's not very big, but it don't have to be very big for you to utilize it to grow. Okay. Because I do have somewhere to grow, and I have a water hose and all that. And then I need to put a little drip system in, which I have bought one. I'm going to buy another one and get that going. And then I have the 4 connector water hose thing, but I got some plans. So anyway, this lady begging. I'm like, oh my God. I go to get my gas. They walking up to your car. It has become overwhelming. And the gas place I go to on the side, well, 2 of them. I go to 76s here because they're cheapest ones. But on the side, they're in very sketch areas too. One of them, and just like, ain't you scared to go over there? I said, bro, I drove a truck across the country. I deliver stuff in Compton. And I deliver stuff in New York. I deliver stuff in Chicago. You can't do that and be intimidated by sketch. Sketch exists. So one of them, the lady came in and got all the homeless dude, and I had one homeless dude. He tried to give me money. He was so whacked out of his mind, drugged out, had a big old gaping wound that was open in the back. And I'm like, oh, you good, bro? You just keep that. And yeah, that's. And he just stood there, whacked out his mind. And what he buy? He bought some liquor. My heart goes out for whatever you got going on spiritually, mentally, and psychologically. But I can't help you. And all I can do is pray for you. And pray that God would direct your path. And my mind goes back to Miss Pearlie. Now, the Bible speaks of, when I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was naked, did you clothe me? I do that in a different way. Because like I said, I realize too, there are people who they're playing the system and the roles. They're playing a lot of games, manipulating people. And like Linda and Joe was like, hey, that's a scam. I'm like, I don't know if it's a scam. I don't know what some of the people who go through Phoenix Rescue Mission, they talk about coming off drugs. They talk about, one was a black lady, and they send me a newsletter because I do donations to them. And they send me a newsletter of where the money goes in the life-changing events. That's what they're there for. That's not my calling. It's not my area of expertise. And they know who they can allocate those funds to, who really want the help. And so those people that want the help, it's like one of my buddies, his nephew's a weed smoker, and he went into some Christian program, didn't last a week, and he was back at the house and doing all sorts of madness. Again, that's your life choice, but I'm not the one who's going to sit there and help you through that up and down journey. That's going to be, you need to have a professional organization. That's not me. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I'm sorry. But like I said, you're a male, a grown white man. You right now, everything will be in your favor being white in America. It's some choices. When I go to the grocery store over here by my house, we got a grocery store called Safeway, Albertsons. They've been begging for employees. And they have a lot of disabled employees that are in there doing the job. So I'm not understanding your excuse. Hold on. Yeah, I understand the entertaining angels unaware situation that the Bible talks about. There are times when we need to know how and when. So if I entertain and think, okay, every homeless person is an angel unaware, I don't know that that's going to be the case. That's a whole bunch of doggone angels over the past that I've seen needles and sitting outside of things, smoking stuff. I can't say that. So I can't speak to that situation. I just can't. All I know is right now, because of what I'm seeing going on around. It's one of the reasons I'm not on the bus, as far as because I had to get the car. What I saw with the bus truck already, it's bad. I don't know how long it's been since you've been here in Phoenix. Phoenix reminds me of what I saw in California. It's bad. On the side of the building, and they'll walk in and they'll be totally drugged out. And like I said, dude was odd. But even the behavior afterwards, just because I didn't give you the food and you start screaming at me, something is wrong. So this told me enough. The woman with the kid and the folded sign, very well written sign, and Linda said, sit in the parking lot long enough and they'll switch out. And it'll be a whole nother person. And she's right. I've seen that too. I've seen them. They have the water case that they sell water on the side of the road, and they'll run them down and people give them money for the water, because that's their job, I guess, selling the water. Then another person will come up and they'll bring more water, and then they'll sit out there with the new homeless sign. I've seen it because the company I work for is right near one of the shelters. And like I said, that company, they did an open house asking for people to come. Asking for people. So again, what you're calling, I can't discern that. That's not my gifting. So it's like, all I can do, I just say, Lord, bless them and help them wherever they need to be helped. But that's not going to be my area, especially for males. I won't be doing that anymore. I have an issue with that. It's already hard enough being a woman in this life. Being a black woman is even harder. Any woman of color, it's harder for us. And I'm sitting up here busting my butt every day, keeping my head above water as best I can with the Lord's help. And now I'm taking care of a grown male who, I don't know what his issue was. I don't know why you are a grown, able-bodied male and ain't got a job. I don't understand that. I don't. But y'all outside of the food restaurant asking for food and money and all sorts of stuff. And then, as a matter of fact, there was one. I went to Panda over here, Panda Express, a little Chinese place. Guy was outside. So I was actually going to get him something. Okay? And I was going to get something. I'm not asking you to come in and choose the food. I'm going to do just like that lady with the hot dog. Get you something. If you eat it, you eat it. If you don't, beggars can't be choosy. So I got a plate. I was about to give it to him. Well, the family came in and let him pick out. And this dude picking out whatever he wanted. Okay? Sits down at the table. Starts eating. Okay? He brings them in the restaurant. Restaurateurs are looking because the restaurant owner don't really want this homeless dude in there. They give him a plate. He eats the plate. Leaves all the trash on the table. Don't even pick it up and throw it in the trash can. Just left all his mess on the table and walked out the door. Like I said, and I've seen some things that made me reevaluate. I made that lunch for that dude who had the cigarettes. Cigarettes are high as hell. When I made lunch 2 sandwiches, and I bought 2 bottles of water, one for him and one for me, while we were at the light rail training. Like I said, I started seeing some other things. I'm going to leave it in God's hands. And thank you, because this is what this discussion is what would y'all do? What's your feeling? So Truckerette's going to feed them. Who else do we have in here? What would y'all do? I want you to, and no shade. I believe you should do what's on your heart. For me, I've reevaluated it. And again, it's because I'm seeing a lot of stuff here in Arizona that is very disconcerting. And what we're considering the homeless area. We used to have we call it Crazy Hospital on Van Buren and 24th, not too far from where Chicago BBW is talking about these apartments, right? I didn't know, because I got back here, I thought that was still in effect. I didn't know that this was closed down during Reagan's time. And I believe we do need mental health hospitals. I think we need them for these individuals. But I didn't know that they closed it down during Reagan's time. That all that's been shut down. I had no idea. I was like, when they shut it down? I didn't know they closed the Crazy House down. They didn't close it down. It's been closed down for a minute. I'm like, I didn't know they closed the Crazy House. They closed the Crazy House down. Closed. So I had to look at it differently. And it goes back to that, show a man how to fish. Well, a man needs to get a job. Whether it's a man or a woman, you need to work. I know people who are in relationships and they're right. If you feel led, I did not feel led in today's situation, in 2 of them. I did not feel led in the situation. Matter of fact, after I left, that was one was Whole Foods, and I had to go to fries. And on the side of fries, it was a ton of the homeless people on the side. Okay. Ton of them. And people coming out of the grocery store and they standing there. I've seen them go get groceries paid for. Matter of fact, let me tell you about the other day. So dude came out of the Safeway. He came out the Safeway and he looked like hell. Black folks roll up in a BMW and pick him up. He get in the car. I don't know what he said. Something to the people. Groceries and money. I was like, what the hell is going on? Looked like he just rolled off the park bench. Very well done. I don't know what's what, but these black folks picked his black butt up. I've seen them go in there, and people, they'll stand outside of there, and people go buy them groceries, and then they walk out and get picked up by a very nice ride and have groceries and stuff for whoever they feeding and or money. So I've had to step back, and I figured, let me just give the money to the organization and let them deal with that. Because it's, and like Joe, because Joe was saying, he said, Shannon, sometimes I feel bad. I said, Joe, here's the organization I recommend. Give the money there and let those people do that. That's not your expertise. It's not my expertise to determine who needs what. I can't do that. And to determine if the money is going to be used accordingly. I won't do that. I won't. I got a friend of mine who has drug users in her family. One of them during COVID came to the gate and told me he wanted to shower and all this stuff. And he ended up getting COVID. And because she didn't want him in her house and some other stuff, she would just put food over the fence in a bag and let him get it. But he was heavy-duty drug addict. Yeah, the screaming, when he started screaming, I'm like, okay, something. I don't. You look like you 25, 30 years old. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. You know, I'm not understanding. And like I said, there are places, warehouses, be a lumper. Granted, some hard work, cleaning, sweeping, construction, road work. I got Nikki, who's a girl, and when she got tired of being OTR, she went local here. That baby was doing the construction dump truck, tarring the road, hard labor that men do, and Sister Girl was out there busting her hump. I'm not understanding, and she's a former felon. I'm not understanding. That sister can do all of that. I'm not understanding what's going on with this white man. I'm just not. No offense to white males who may watch me. I'm not understanding. And I was gonna cut it. I didn't do any of my juice in it, my berry juice, so it's really kind of afro-y nappy right now, but thank you. Yeah, I usually have it more gelled up. I was gonna get a shower tonight, so I didn't even do anything, and I'm gonna probably cut it down. Thank you. Yeah. And if I let it go, it goes into a little fro, and I put my berry juice in there, and it's really, really curly. I didn't even realize I didn't need all the other stuff that I was using, so I didn't realize that. So I understand, and I think to each his own. If you decide to do that, I just brought it up because it was something that just came to me. And I was like, this is a discussion. And what I used to do, I would, but now I'll give to the organization and let them do the decisions and work with that. Because there's people who legitimately, they'll wake up from whatever they're in. God bless them, and I'm sorry for whatever struggle, whether it's addiction, whatever happened, because it could have been me. It's like I think Kirk Franklin had a song with him and a couple other artists. It's called "Could Have Been Me," and it talks about homeless and everything. So it's a beautiful little hip hop Christian gospel song, and it could have been me. But there's a point too. It's funny because when I went and stayed with Monty, and I got down there, and I was trying to transition to Texas, not Lubbock, but somewhere else, and I stayed there, and I ended up working for Wells, and I got a job like immediately, getting there from trucking, and one of the ladies from the church say, "I like that baby." She said, "At least she want to work. She want a job." Because I didn't just go up in there and lay on him and lay up on that apartment. I'm just going to lay up on people. No, I want a job. I want to work. So you can get a job. Lubbock is a small ass city. God forgive me putting it at that. They small as hell. You can get a job. You want a job. And yeah, if you want a job, you get a job. Some people don't want a job. So that's that part. What was the last part I was going to ask about? There was something else I put on there. 40 acres. That's the other subject, and I'm going to get off here because we almost an hour and change in. So I'm going to tell y'all this story. Y'all can ponder it. I just like to talk about subjects that come up. So I went to the old job that I'm going to be resigning from to do my timesheet last week. And I talked to little security guards, 2 black girls. And I like both of them. They're cute. Well, one of them I like more, but there was another one there. And it's just amazing to me. Thank you. So it's so amazing to me. And I know I'm going to get some controversy because I know we got black folks in here. I know I'm going to get some controversy. Do I know about 40 acres in a mill? I don't know how you can be black and not, but there are probably some. Do I understand all the caveats of it? No, I do not, because I've never really studied it to that degree, but I'm aware of it. However, I'm not going to look at another minority group and say, hey, we didn't get our 40 acres in the mill, so therefore, I don't think they should give you no money because they still owe us money. I'm not going to do that. Because in my humble opinion, these are 2 distinctly different issues, okay? So she was comparing the Jewish situation in Jerusalem and the money that they're getting for the war to the fact that the U.S. government, in her opinion, owes black people 40 acres and a mule. I'm going to say this. First, I want you to go back and I want you to study history. It was something I learned, and I've mentioned it on the channel before, as to what truly a white person is and what they're not. Now, I know in America now, we have people. So my friend Joe is Latino. He's Mexican. Matter of fact, his family didn't get citizenship coming over. But he will check the Mexican box and the white box on an application. He's told me that. I look at him and I say, you're not white. Because A, having the title white makes you better than everybody else, okay? I have a problem with this. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that's the thought process. So to be able to check white because your skin is lighter makes you feel pop my collar. But the truth is you're not them, okay? What a white person is, go research it. There used to be a term for them called Anglo-Saxon, which meant European whites, okay? Who's that? Tiffany, I love you. Okay. Tiffany says, I just keep it moving. I ain't mad at you. So, I want to talk to my people, especially my young folks, when you don't know your history and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. First of all, she is mentioning names and she got people mixed up. You need to stop. You need to stop. Do they owe that? Does it historically that was something that was owed? Yes. Was it done? No. Will it ever be done? Most likely not. And yes, unfortunately, black folks, we have gotten the short end of the stick. It is what it is. I'm going to leave that in God's hand to handle it. And he will, in his time and in his way. However, I'm not going to put another ethnic group and say you shouldn't do because of the plight of my situation. I don't agree with that. I think it's foul. Okay? Now, in America, Jewish people and the newer generation of Jews may put themselves under the classification of white, but they're not. Nazi Germany should tell you that. Them concentration camps should tell you that. Because that ethnic group was considered less than because the Nazis thought they were the pure white race. Therefore, that would make a Jew not white. Okay? They're not Anglo-Saxon European. They're Middle Eastern. That's what Middle East sits in the Middle East. Okay? And when you look at them, some of their hair look like ours. Some of their lips is bigger than ours, or like ours. Their skin is more olive, and it does not have a pure white reflection. Some of them may have blue eyes. Some of them don't. And we don't know who was in sleeping around with them either. Just like us. We got some black folks with blue eyes and green eyes and yellow eyes and all that other stuff. Stop. 40 acres and a mule, we probably will never get that. And don't sit and think because somebody else is in a bad plight that financially, government-wise, I'm not talking about this is different from the homeless situation. We should not help them, especially when they're an ally. And you got to see this on a bigger, grander scope. This is bigger than what's going on with our 40 acres and a mule. This is war. This is some other political things that are way huge beyond the scope of 40 acres and a mule. I'm just saying. But lately, I've seen people, if it ain't, and I have this problem, not even have, in conjunction with some of the legal views that we have as far as behaviors that are now being deemed acceptable that before would be considered deplorable and criminal. I have a problem with people talking to cops crazy and the cops say, stand right there, and you decide to walk and get in your car. I don't know what you're getting. I don't know. I'm black, and if I'm a cop, you might get shot. I'm just saying. And then all of a sudden, he's a victim, and the cop was wrong because we have all the years of all the wrong stuff that was done, not to everyone, but there was some bad behaviors based on discriminatory attitudes of police officers. But then how do we justify black officers who beat a black male like they did that guy? And that's not a color issue. So now we're going to make it a position issue. Can we make our mind up? Which one is it? Do I think that what they did with that individual was right or wrong? Absolutely. I think the force was excessive. But again, I do have problems that he ran away. I have a problem when you fighting back. Because I go back to that military gentleman that got stopped by them white cops at that gas station. They had it on camera. He's in his full military outfit, showing that he is a U.S. Military person. He does no sudden movements. He obeys the command of the authority that's in front of him, even though we know, based on behavior, that there was things not right. But because of how he carried himself, I'm sure he got a paycheck. I'm pretty positive of that. And there are some things that will most likely happen because it was caught on film for them cops. I need us to stop. It's driving me batty. It's just driving me batty because I'm like listening to this girl and she know what the hell she's talking about. Swearing, cussing, and I was like, and baby I don't even think she's 20 years old. I'm going, oh. She tried to explain that she had her degree, which I don't think she had a degree, because she said an associate's and a master's were the same thing. They are not. An associate's is a 2-year degree. A bachelor's is a 4-year degree. And the master's is above that, the next level, then you move into a doctorate. The associates and the masters are not the same. You skipped a whole level in between. I was like, oh, okay, you just talking us out of your neck. But you get people who are just like this young lady, and they just say some crazy butt stuff about 40 acres and a mule, and you don't know everything about it. I can even say, I understand the concept of it. I understood what it dealt with. Will we ever get it? Most likely not. And the equivalent of the amount of money would be owed. And now the offspring of the people from that and trying to figure it, it's not going to happen. Most likely not. Zero. And that was from a time way before us. We can't live there. We can't live there, people. Will they help all these other folks and these white folks come over here? Yeah. Right now, there's a heavy, huge Latino influence coming into America from the borders. And the Anglo or the I want to be in the white category, they don't want them here because it's affecting their numbers. Because the Latino community, they believe in children. They believe in large families. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's due to the Catholicism and not taking birth control, but they believe in, 18 kids. They have one, and they might have another one on the way within the time that other one came out. I'm here in Arizona, so I see it all the time, and I got it in my family. They believe in they believe in children, and they believe in having lots of babies. So they're populating at a number that's bigger than those who fall in the category of Anglo. But then you do have some of them who, because they can check the Spanish box as ethnicity, then for the race box, they'll go check white. And I had to explain it to them, like, you're not white. Well, it says you leave that blank because they're acknowledging, which I really hate race, because I don't believe in race. There's one race, human race. All of us are in some kind of ethnic group. African American, which means that we're of African descent. Native American, which means they're of Native American descent. Asian American, which means they're of Asian American descent. Latino American, which means they're from some of the Latino countries. Let's just do it like that. We need to get rid of the black and the white. They're not going to do that because it's a power thing. But we also need to not get caught up in it. And we have to understand the depth of where that comes from. It was, like I said, I talked about this before. It was eye-opening to me when I took a college course and they brought a black professor from, I think it was from the Carolinas, here to teach it. And when he taught, he's like, yeah, he said they changed who could say they were white in order to keep their numbers up. Ding, 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 ding. And he said, there's only one race. Absolutely. It's not white and black. That's just a bunch of hoopla and bull. We don't argue about something. We can argue about that. It's not white and black. I'm an African American. Granted, we use the term because it's now part of our culture. But honestly, if we want to fight about something, we move from colored we move from nigger to Negro to colored. As my grandma said, I'm Negro, baby, but my grandma had her bureau number. It didn't even show her black. It showed her Native American ethnicity on her birth certificate. So don't get caught up there. We need to stop. And we also, for those of you, y'all see my box over there, I'll just kick my thing. For those of you who have some Christian background, I challenge you, right now I'm doing the Pentateuch. Matter of fact, I'll get on here and do homework here in a minute. I challenge you to go back and research the heritage of what is known as the Jews, Israelites, aka Hebrews. And I know I had somebody on here who was mentioning a couple videos ago, we're the chosen people. We're not. The chosen people were the Jews, are the Jews, aka Israelites, aka Hebrews. However, when you become Christian, you become grafted in, and then you are chosen because it says Christ chose you before you chose him. That's a story I can't get into right now. It would take too long to explain. But go back and research who the original chosen people are. And it is those people in Israel. That land was for them from the Lord because he has a plan for it. There's a plan for it when Jesus comes back. There's a plan. Believe it. I'm just saying. So we got to be very careful. And you got to be very careful what you're speaking over those people. The Bible says, he told Abraham, those who curse you, I'll curse them. Those who bless you, I'll bless them. I'm praying for them folks over there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not negating those quote unquote Palestinian people. And some of them are hooked up with the Hamas. Again, that is a very complex situation over there. In addition, they family. They're cousins. They're related to each other. That's a huge family feud between the Jews and the Palestinians. That's family feud. Muslims, Jews, family. It's a family feud of a family that went in two different directions. Research. Look at the history. Read about them. And ultimately, I don't tell you I'm on this side, that side. I'm on Jesus' side. And biblically, what I know, those were the chosen people. Christians are grafted into that promise. So I ain't got nothing to say bad about them. Zero. Matter of fact, I'm praying for them. Whatever God's success and and choices are for them, I'm praying for them. I'm sorry to the Palestinian, but y'all went up in them people's house on your little planes and went and kill folks and burn up babies, and now you gonna show me your baby. I'm sorry. You might want to go and haul them Hamas people up out them tunnels. Bring them over to them Israelites and say, stop bombing us. We done given you who you want. But that's not what they doing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sound like you happy with what Hamas did. I'm just saying. Otherwise, you might want to change your focus and haul they happy behind out there and tell Israel, here you go. Here all of them. Let me point you in the direction. That's not what they're doing. Zero. So, and we're also prophetically in a very unique time. So for those of you who watch this for some of my Christian content, this is very prophetic what's going on right now. It's setting the stage, really, if we believe, for the second coming, well, for the rapture of the church. And then you'll get into the second coming. But if folks disappear, like I tell most of y'all, I'm going to start into my video, don't take that number. If you left here and I'm praying I'm gone, do not take that mark. 0. I'll just have water, please. As one of the guys I watch say, don't take that mark. Do not take that mark. It is the worst thing you can do. Because you basically have damned yourself to hell, and there is no coming back from that. Because that mark is aligning you with some demonic, unsatanic stuff. Again, open your Bible. You don't have to believe me. Go get it for yourself. I would tell the people that in my study group, this is what I'm going to show you, but make sure you go get it for yourself. Don't trust me. Don't trust me. Go get it for yourself. Anyway, y'all, we at 86 minutes. I got homework to do. I'm tired, and I'm getting ready to get on here, get this homework done. I got to get my desk set up for tomorrow, and then I got to get some sleep. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. Peace. Anybody who wants to know about the company, truckerdoll@gmail.com. That I know. I won't respond if I don't know you and you're newer. No offense. truckerdoll@gmail.com. Peace.